What's up, guys? Danny here from the Lasercast with
Charlotte.
and we're here to talk to you about Pinhead because we just finished watching the 6th and I believe final episode of the season of Behind the Monsters on Shudder, and this one covers our favorite lead Cenobite, which is what he was called in the first film. He was not called Pinhead yet.
Nope.
And this was another phenomenal episode covering the high highs and the very low lows of the Hellraiser franchise from the original 1987 onward. What have you seen of the Hellraiser movies?
The only parts I really remember seeing is Pinhead becoming Pinhead in
Part 2.
Part 2. And I've also seen scenes with Frank and what was her name?
Julia. Yeah. So Charlotte watched part of Hellraiser 2, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, which is what this shirt is. This is a Japanese import. I love this shirt.
Okay.
And I believe it was on Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In, which is where you watch.
It was.
Yes. This,
It always surprises me.
like most of the episodes in this series, from Chucky to Candyman to the big three, Michael, Jason, and Freddy, they have covered the first movie in detail, and then they go into the franchise, the sequels, but they also give you the people that you want to hear the most from. So in this case, Doug Bradley is front and center in the documentary parts, telling you things, everything you wanted to know from, things he was told by Clive Barker. I love Clive Barker. I've read a bunch of Clive Barker books. My wife, who has been on this channel, Athena, she loves Clive Barker as well. Clive Barker. Oh, you've read Clive Barker.
Oh, yeah?
The Thief of Always?
No way!
Yes. I'm...
I love that book!
Yeah.
I read it in 5th grade.
I'm looking at... Right behind us is our horror bookshelf, and we have a bunch of Clive Barker stuff. So
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that name at first, but then I was just like, it's a normal name.
No, yeah, he directed. He wrote The Thief of Always, which you read in what grade?
5th, but I was quarantined.
5th grade.
So we read it on my PDF.
Well, if you like that, you should start reading. I mean, I was, to be honest, I was about your age when I started reading really more adult style horror. The first Stephen King book I ever read, I was in junior high. I read The Eyes of the Dragon.
I really should start watching The Silver Bullet.
You mean reading? Oh yeah, I mean.
I said reading.
You said watching, but you've seen. So you mean reading Cycle of the Werewolf? Yes, I read Cycle of the Werewolf, which is kind of like a graphic novel almost.
It's very short compared to
yes,
any other.
Yes, it totally is.
Is it his first one?
No.
Oh.
But it's like a novella that he did. But also Eyes of the Dragon. But also Clive Barker's got. I mean, the story that Hellraiser's based on is very short. It's called The Hellbound Heart. And also, this is going off the rails into a Clive Barker, Stephen King discussion. But I have behind me a book of Clive Barker's short stories called Books of Blood.
Whoa.
My favorite short story that I've ever read is Dread by Clive Barker, which was turned into a not so great movie. But I love that story so much, and you should read it because it's freaking great.
Okay,
but,
back to Hellraiser.
Yes, back to Hellraiser. Doug Bradley. The comment that really struck me, because as somebody who's read Clive Barker, Jane Wild Goose. That is my favorite name of anyone who's ever worked in a horror movie. Jane Wild Goose, who I actually rewound. I was like, is her name Jane Wild Goose? But she was fantastic in this. She was the costume designer on the first movie, and she had her original sketchbook from 1986.
It was really good.
And what's amazing is how close the actual characters look to her drawings.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like... It looks like... What's his name?
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley. It actually looks like Doug Bradley.
It's fantastic. It's the type of thing where if they like reprinted her sketchbook into like a mass publication and put it out there in like a Hellraiser, the visuals and the makeups and the costumes, I would buy it.
Like the thing with no eyes. It's like
the chatterer.
Detail.
Yeah, the chattering Cenobite.
I don't know.
No, yeah, the one with the teeth.
Speaking of teeth.
Oh yeah, they
my favorite thing in this episode.
So they show the two other main people from the Hellraiser franchise, aside from Doug Bradley. They do have some vintage interview footage with Clive Barker, which is great. But they have Jane Wildgoose, who was the costume designer, and then they have Jeff Portas, who was the makeup effects, and you can't do Hellraiser without makeup effects. And she noticed the painting.
It's so big. How did you notice?
Because I was looking at him and I was watching him talk. He has this amazing painting behind him of teeth, of just these big teeth.
It doesn't even. It's not like.
No. It's
yellow.
It's not even a face. It's just the teeth.
Yellow, disgusting teeth. I
guess he really liked doing the makeup for Chatterer because that's where. But the line that Jane Wildgoose said that really struck me as somebody who's read Clive Barker before was the way Clive described the Cenobites was repulsive glamour. And that really sums up what they are. The whole, she also says that like it's the combination of Clive's obsession with S&M and her obsession with death and transformation. That and also... Oh.
Sorry, Freddy fell.
Oh. Well, it's not about Freddy. But also the idea that, again, combining the costumes and the makeup, you still see Doug Bradley. You still see him.
Yeah, like, I saw it. I mean, he kind of looked like,
I've been to horror conventions where Doug Bradley was there, and I've never actually gotten his autograph and like took a picture with him. But he is somebody who goes to these conventions all the time, and he is iconic in the sense that like when you look at his face and when you hear him speak, you do see and hear Pinhead. It's not like, Robert Englund doesn't look like Freddy Krueger.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. That's a ton of makeup.
Once you see him,
yes,
you know it's Freddy.
But he also he's when you meet Robert Englund, he's like, "Hi, nice to meet you." He doesn't go, "Ha ha."
Hi.
And of course, Jason and Michael Myers are masked silent killers. Chucky is Brad Dourif is the voice actor, but it's an animatronic or a puppet. The only other.
Do we have any Hellraiser toys or something?
I don't think so.
How dare you?
I have the movies, but they're down here. I have the first few movies. But the only other monster in the Behind the Monsters series that they covered that is similar to this is Candyman, where Tony Todd is just Tony Todd with the hook and the huge, beautiful coat. Here, under the makeup, and they said that was a must from Clive Barker, that you needed to be able to see Doug Bradley through the makeup and through the costume. They do get into, obviously, the sequels. What's interesting is that...
a lot of people liked Hellraiser 3.
So many people loved Hellraiser 3. And Hellraiser... So, to me, and this is funny, because...
I just want to watch Hellraiser 3, and even if I don't like it, I'm just going to go, yeah, because I'm afraid that guy will kill me.
Oh, yeah, there was one of the talking heads, one of the people who do a podcast, who was on the Behind the Monsters, who was like, I will fight and kill anybody who doesn't like Hellraiser 3. I think the first 4 movies in the Hellraiser franchise are good. Kevin Yeager was on here, who did the Chucky, all the Child's Play design, special effects. He directed part 4 before he got his name taken off, and it became an Alan Smithy film. And then they get into the really sad part of the Hellraiser franchise, which is basically from parts 5 on, where they become these direct-to-video. I remember renting the first few, like in the last vestiges of the video store, and they were so bad. And I remember, before I understood, I remember thinking, this isn't even a Hellraiser movie. He's just there. And then you find out later on that these were like spec scripts where they wrote Hellraiser, they wrote Pinhead into these like scripts that had nothing to do, like they were like crime thrillers and noirs, and then all of a sudden Pinhead shows up. And the franchise, and I forgot who said it, but Peaches Christ, one of the talking heads, said that, and this is true amongst the other horror franchises, is that sequels are important to the iconography of a character. Like, we've watched all of the Friday the 13th movies.
And all.
We've watched the Nancy trilogy in Nightmare on Elm Street. We've watched
1 and 2.
Parts 1, 2, and Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills from Halloween. So we've seen a bunch of these sequels, and even the bad sequels, there's something about them. I hate Halloween Resurrection, but I like talking about it when I do a ranking video of the Halloween, or when I think about my rankings. I hate Jason Takes Manhattan, but when I'm talking about the Friday the 13th movies, I love
to bring it up.
I enjoy talking about why I can't stand the movie, and even then there's things in it that I like. Whereas the Hellraiser franchise really does just die off.
Yeah.
To the point where the last few movies don't even have Doug Bradley in them, and they feel really cheap.
It's just very sad when you see an actor. This is what I said. I said it's so sad when you see an actor who's so excited to play a role that they love, and then the movie ends up being so bad because the original actor's not in it. Like Freddy Krueger. Remember you showed me part of that awful sequel?
Oh God, the remake? Yeah.
Yeah,
or
and the only thing bad about that movie was Freddy Krueger, and I was like, feel bad.
Or Kane Hodder not getting to come back and play Jason in Freddy vs. Jason or something like that. Yeah.
And I feel bad for them.
But one thing I will say, and I'm very excited for this, is that David Bruckner, who just directed The Night House, a film that we have a review up on our channel, and he also directed one of my favorite modern monster movies, The Ritual. He is adapting a new Hellraiser film, which I think is coming out in 2022, and I'm super excited about that because he happens to be a director I like, and I feel like he can do something with this franchise to reinvigorate it. So yeah, I've loved talking about this series, The Behind the Monsters.
I love it because I love horror movies and original horror movies, and when I see them I kind of feel weird because I'm not a part of this 80s trilogy. I mean, yeah, I'm 10, but yeah, yeah, I'm 11, but
almost. Yeah. But
it's just weird.
No,
but I love it so much.
Yeah, you also get to, I know for you, with Freddy and with Michael Myers, and even with Chucky also, it made you want to see those movies in the franchise that you missed.
I have a friendship with Freddy.
I know. But it's made you want to, so we watched the Nancy trilogy. Yeah. Now you want to watch parts 2 and 4 and 5 and 6.
Even though people say it's terrible.
Look, I'll
watch any terrible movie.
I do think Freddy's Dead is a bad movie. And that said...
Is that the last one before Wes Craven's?
Yes. I will defend it because I love it. But this is not about Freddy. This is about Pinhead.
It's about Pinhead.
Doug Bradley is great. I love Clive Barker. She has already read The Thief of Always. Shudder. Let's go.
Keep moving.
Bring this series back.
Don't die.
There are so many great horror movie icons that you can do 45 minutes on. They don't have to be franchise characters like Michael and Freddy and Pinhead and Jason. They can be standalone. I mean, yes, you could do Leprechaun. Sure. Don't laugh. The Lep is great. But, you can do Leprechaun, but you could also do so many other great horror movie monsters.
I was about to say Pennywise, but he only has like 3 movies.
Yeah, they can do Pennywise. I'll give you a good one. They could do the Xenomorph monster in Alien.
Oh, I was about to say Alien.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else.
I mean, I'd like to see maybe Hannibal Lecter. He's got a few movies. Hey, Shudder, keep doing you. Love what you do.
Keep moving.
It is December 1st, and that's crazy. We are on 2 weeks from Charlotte's birthday. We're going to see this terrible movie about a mutated boy who turns into... Oh, no, it's Spider-Man. We're going to see the new Spider-Man. But the Lassercast channel in December, Pete and I are going to be covering some holiday horror. There's a new holiday horror film coming to Shudder tomorrow that we're going to be filming a review of this weekend. We are going to be covering some 70s horror movies, including some of the classics. This is a very holy time of the year, so we thought it would be fun to do some of the...
I barely know much.
...unholy movies. Let's just say, Shar, it might be time to watch The Omen.
Nope. After all the TV stuff you made me watch, we're not watching The Omen. I watched The Exorcist, Conjuring, both Conjurings, and Insidious. No.
Well... This has been Danny.
And Charlotte.
And she's going to watch The Omen soon.
No.
And you should probably watch the first few Hellraiser movies because they're really freaking good.
Okay.
See you soon. Enjoy Shudder's Behind the Monsters.
Keep moving, Shudder.
And happy December.
Happy December.